I can't help it. But I wanted to talk about Mike, and I've known Mike for 26 years. We were friends in elementary school. And the thing that, when Mike asked me to do a speech, I thought of first is that challenges. I thought Mike loves challenges. He loves to challenge his mind. He loves to challenge his body. So I thought back of just, there's hundreds of thousands of challenges he's done in his life that we've done together. But a few of the top are, when we were in elementary school, Mike was probably the shortest kid on the field, and of course he wants to be the receiver on the football field. So that was his first challenge, and he took it, and he ran with it, and he learned how to catch a football better than anybody else, and we all called him Wonder Hands in elementary school. So
it was Wonder Catcher.
Wonder Catcher. Then fast forward a little bit, and we grew up a little bit, and we decided in high school to go on a camping trip to the sand dunes. So we drive down to the sand dunes, and people tell us that's the tallest dune right there, and we go up and climb it, and we get to the top, and we're like, wait, that one's taller, way over there. And everyone says, yeah, but nobody goes to that one, that's too far, you can't walk there. So Mike and I decide, well, we can. So we walk for hours and hours through the sand, and when you're walking through sand that's knee deep, it's pretty tough, and we get to the top of the tallest dune because it was a challenge. We walk back to camp and we're throwing up and talking about how great choice of sub sandwich would be at this time. We're both puking and nothing's great. We're dehydrated and we almost died. And that's the first of many times. So then we grew up a little more and we decided we'd go on a backpacking trip, and we drive up to Boulder and up to Netherland, and we decided we'll hike over the mountains, over the Indian Peaks into Winter Park. We forgot that you need to bring water and food and all these great things. So again, we do this hike and it takes us 3 days, and we're puking again because we're dehydrated and we almost died, but we made it. But it was a challenge. Then we graduate high school and Mike decides to go off to college, and he goes to Boulder and decides he wants to engineer. He wants to be an engineer. Why do you want to be an engineer? Because it's challenging. It's difficult. That's why I wanted to do it. I myself decided to go do recreation because it's not challenging. So anyway, so Mike becomes this engineer, and of course needs to get his master's and keep going to school because it's challenging. And we decide halfway through it, we're going to go hike the Colorado Trail. We're going to start, and we're going to hike from Centennial, Colorado down to Durango. And all of a sudden, all these fires pop up. And we're like, that sucks. We've been planning this for 2 months. So Dave, wherever he's at, decides he's going to Durango, he'll drive us down there. So we drive down to Durango, and sure enough, on our way down, a fire pops up in Durango. But we decide we put too much effort into it. We're going to take the challenge and hike to Colorado, back to Centennial. So we start going on that, and we get about 100 miles in 9 days, and then Mike calls the Forest Service, and they say, what are you guys doing out there? There's 10 fires around you, you can't be out there, it's not safe. So that was a challenge we took, and we failed. Some challenges you have. So we went home after 100 miles, but we made it that far. Then we go, decided to do another couple backpacking trips, and Mike's dad drives us down to Crest of Butte. We decided to hike to Aspen, and Ryan Flig's with us on this one. And about halfway through, there's this amazing hot springs, and we all get in the hot springs, and it starts to get dark, and all of a sudden these 5, 6 girls come in the hot springs, and middle of nowhere, so they take off all their clothes. And they jump in the hot springs, and I'm thinking, this is great. At this point, Mike looks away. So I thought, he's gay. So, anybody who's out there gay, I apologize. I don't mean anything bad. There's nothing wrong with being gay. You just have to push a little harder. Anyway, when it turns out he's thinking, these girls aren't for him. They're not Brooke. He didn't know it at the time, but he was waiting for his one true love.
Spin that one around.
A few more years go by. We always decided we'd go climb some big mountains. We decided to go to Kilimanjaro in Africa. Eric was with us. My dad was with us. And, it was a challenge. Mike loves challenges, as I keep saying. So we go and we climb up this mountain, and of course we can't do it the easy way. We've got to take the hardest route. We got to sleep at 18,000 feet because that's what Mike wanted to do, because it was difficult and it was painful and it sucked, but ultimately it ended up being great. And we come home, a couple years go by, and Mike calls me and says, "Hey, I'm getting married." And in my head I think it's because it's a challenge. Because any of you who are married, as great as a couple as Brooke and Mike are, there's going to be challenges along the way, right? There's going to be difficult times. Bryn's going to wake up in the middle of the night and she's going to be crying. Mike's going to have to go to work. Brooke's going to go out to teach in the morning. The one thing that Mike always inherently knew was that with the greatest challenges come the greatest rewards. And this is the toughest challenge of his life and also the biggest reward. So I want to toast Mike. To his challenges and rewards, to many returns.
Residuals.
Awesome.
And may they live happily ever after.
Amen.
And because I almost cried, I've always believed that with every time I show weakness, I have to be a man. So if somebody could turn on this bull, I'd like to ride it.